Some people say miracles don't exist, but I'm living proof that they do. This is the story of a mother who never gave up, a woman who drove a taxi day and night to feed her two daughters, and one freezing winter night when everything changed in a single second. My name is Sarah. I am 33 years old. I live in Manchester, and I am a mother to two beautiful daughters, Emily and Lucy. They are my entire world. I wake up for them, I work for them, I breathe for them. Without my daughters, my life has no meaning at all. Life has never been easy for me. When I was very young, my mom passed away. I grew up without her love. I felt alone most of the time. Later, I got married. I believed my life would finally become happy. I believed I would have a proper family at last. But I was wrong. When my younger daughter was still a baby, my husband left us. He walked out one morning and never came back. No phone call, no money, not even a single question about his children. It was as though we had never existed. From that day forward, I became a single mother. I had no parents, no brothers, no sisters. I had absolutely no one to help me. I did everything alone. We lived in a tiny council flat. The rooms were cramped and cold, but it was our home. Every month, I worried about rent. Every single night, I worried about the future. I never went to college. I didn't have a proper education. I searched desperately for work, but no one wanted to hire me. Finally, I became a taxi driver. I didn't even own the car. I rented it every month. Before I could earn a single penny, I already owed money. I drove all day, sometimes all night. I drove when I was exhausted. I drove when my whole body ached. I drove when my heart felt so heavy I could barely breathe. Some passengers were kind, some were rude, some paid honestly, some tried to cheat me, but I never stopped working. I worked because my daughters needed food. I worked because they needed warm clothes. I worked because rent didn't wait for anyone. At night, when my girls were finally asleep, I would sit beside them. I'd touch their soft hair, I'd kiss their tiny foreheads, and I'd whisper, "I love you. I will never, ever give up." One winter evening, I was driving my daughters home. The night was pitch black. Freezing rain hammered down from the sky. The roads were slick and dangerous. The car heater was broken. "Mom, I'm freezing," little Lucy said softly from the back seat. "I know, sweetheart," I replied, my voice shaking. "We'll be home soon, I promise." My hands were trembling on the steering wheel. The street was eerily quiet. And then, suddenly, blinding white lights came straight towards us. I heard an enormous, sickening crash. Pain exploded through my entire body. Everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, I saw a white ceiling above me. I smelled antiseptic. I heard the steady beeping of machines. I was in the hospital. My body hurt so badly I could barely move. My head felt impossibly heavy. And then I remembered. The accident. "My daughters!" I tried to shout, but my voice came out as barely a whisper. "Where are my daughters?" A nurse came close and gently held my hand. She spoke softly. "Please, love, try to rest. Your children are safe. They're here." Tears streamed down my face. Moments later, the door burst open. Two small figures ran straight to me. "Mom!" they cried. They hugged me so tightly I thought my heart would break. I cried with them, holding them as close as I could. Later, the doctor came in. His face was serious. "You've broken your leg quite badly. You'll need surgery, and you must rest for many weeks." Fear gripped my heart like ice. I couldn't work. I couldn't drive. How would I pay rent? How would I feed my children? And then I remembered. The taxi, the rented car was completely destroyed. The owner was demanding 10,000 pounds. I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I covered my face with my hands, and I cried. The next day, something completely unexpected happened. Someone shared my story online. People read about my life. They saw pictures of my daughters. And kind strangers, people I had never met, started sending help. Messages poured in. Small donations came from all over the country. One evening, my phone rang. A calm male voice spoke. "I heard your story," he said. "I want to help you." My hands shook. "Who are you?" I asked. "You'll know soon," he replied quietly. 2 days later, several people arrived at the hospital. They brought flowers. They brought warm winter jackets for my daughters. A young man walked in. He had a gentle smile and kind eyes. He sat down beside my bed. "You don't know me, but I know your story," he said. "Why would you want to help me?" I asked, barely able to speak. He smiled softly. "Because I can." A few days later, all my hospital bills were paid, every single one. I owed nothing. I cried from pure relief. But that was not the end. One afternoon, they took me to a new place. It was a beautiful house, big windows, warm, bright rooms. "This is your home now," they said. I couldn't believe it. My legs felt weak. I fell to my knees and cried. My daughters hugged me tightly, crying too. "Is this real?" I whispered through my tears. "Yes," they answered gently. "It's real." Later, the young man asked me one simple question. "What's your biggest dream, Sarah?" I wiped my tears and said, "I want to open a small shop, a little grocery store." He smiled. "Then we'll do it." Months later, I stood inside my own shop. Shelves were fully stocked. Fresh food was everywhere. Customers smiled at me. I was no longer just an exhausted taxi driver struggling to survive. I was a shop owner. I was strong. I was standing on my own 2 feet again. One evening, I invited the man for dinner at our new home. My daughters helped cook. Emily placed fresh flowers on the table. Lucy made a beautiful drawing that said, "Thank you." When he arrived, my daughters ran and hugged him immediately. I walked forward with tears streaming down my face. I tried to kneel before him, but he stopped me. "You owe me nothing," he said, firmly. "Just live happily. That's all I ask." That night, my daughters and I said a prayer for him. Today, I wake up in my own home. I kiss my daughters good morning. I open my shop. I smile again. Because sometimes, just sometimes, one kind person can change an entire life. The lesson: even when life is unbearably hard, staying strong and loving your family brings hope. Kind people still exist in this world, and one single act of kindness can change absolutely everything. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Someone out there needs to hear this today.